Here's a secret the wealthy ones tell you. It's not just how much money they make, it's the rules they follow that keep them rich year after year. And here's the kicker. Most of these rules are available to you and me, but almost no one follows them. In this video, I'm going to share the exact money rules the rich live by, the ones that protect their wealth, grow it, and pass it down for generations. Break them, and you'll stay stuck. Follow them, and you might just join the club. If you're anything like me, then you've probably read plenty of books about money and watched countless videos trying to learn the secrets to getting rich. The problem is, most of these so-called secrets are useless, unless you have an actual system in place. It's easy to learn some random facts about money, but it's quite another thing entirely to actually use them to your advantage. There are 6 money rules that the rich use to keep themselves rich. They may seem simple, but it's the consistent application of these rules over long periods of time that make them so powerful. So today we're going to cover each of them in detail so you can start using them yourself. Rule number 1, protect the principal. It doesn't matter if you're investing in stocks, real estate, or starting a business. If you lose your original investment, then you're not really making money. This is why the first rule of money is to never lose your core wealth, also known as your principal. The core wealth is everything you have left after paying off all your debts. It should be enough to keep you financially secure and sustain your basic quality of life. And you should treat it like a protected asset because it is. So whenever you decide to do something risky, like investing in cryptocurrency, make sure you don't put any of your core wealth at risk. Only put in money that you can afford to lose. And remember, this goes for everything in life. Don't take risks with things that could potentially ruin your financial life, because there's a difference between taking calculated risks and just gambling. A calculated risk is when you're fully aware of the potential consequences, and you're willing to accept them because the potential rewards outweigh the risks. Gambling, on the other hand, is putting your money on red, hoping that Lady Luck will smile down on you. There's no need to do the latter when the former can be just as exciting. Rule number 2. Make money work for you when someone pays you for your time, effort, or product. That's money coming in. When you spend money on things you want or need, that's money going out. Now, ideally, you want more money coming in than going out, so that you can save the surplus and then invest it. The reason why this is important is because money has the ability to multiply itself exponentially over time, thanks to the power of compounding interest. But in order to take advantage of this, you need to get your money to work for you. To do this, turn every dollar you earn into an asset that makes you money even when you're not working. For example, you can buy shares in companies, invest in rental properties, create passive income streams like YouTube, start a side hustle, or develop a skill that will increase your earning potential. The key is to make sure your money is always working for you in some way. Otherwise, it's just sitting there losing value due to inflation, and that's not something you want to be doing with your hard-earned cash. Rule number 3, spend less than you earn. If you want to build wealth, you must spend less than you earn. This is without a doubt the most fundamental principle of personal finance. It's also surprisingly difficult to follow, especially with all the advertising and social pressure we face every day, telling us to buy stuff we don't need. The average American spends over 50% of their income on housing, transportation, food, and insurance. Now, if you're spending 50% of your income on needs, that leaves you with 50% for wants. But here's the catch. If you want to build wealth, you need to spend less than you earn, which means your needs plus your wants have to be less than your earnings. This can be pretty tough to do, especially if you're living in a high cost of living area or supporting family members financially. But it's definitely possible with careful planning and a lot of self-discipline. The best way to go about this is to first figure out how much money you need to cover your essential expenses like housing, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Then subtract that amount from your total income, and whatever is left over can be spent on wants or saved and invested. Of course, the more money you save and invest, the sooner you'll reach your financial goals. Rule number 4, use debt as a tool, not a trap. Debt is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can be used to buy assets that generate income. On the other, it can be used to buy stuff that loses value. The key is knowing which type of debt to use and when to pay it off. Good debt is when you borrow money to buy an asset that generates more money than the debt itself costs. For example, Let's say you borrow $100,000 to buy a rental property that generates $1,000 per month in rental income. In this case, the debt is good because it's helping you generate more money than it costs to service. Bad debt, on the other hand, is when you borrow money to buy something that doesn't generate any income or only does so at a rate lower than the debt itself. An obvious example is credit card debt, which typically has very high interest rates, making it extremely expensive to service. Debt becomes a trap when you allow it to drain your resources without providing any benefit in return. That's why it's important to be mindful of the type of debt you take on and make sure it's helping you generate more money than it costs to service. Rule number 5, diversify, but focus. Diversification is an important part of managing risk. The idea is that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. So if something happens to that basket, you still have other eggs to fall back on. This is especially true when it comes to your investments. You don't want to put all your money in one stock, industry, or market sector because that would be way too risky. Instead, you should diversify your portfolio across different asset classes, industries, and geographical regions. However, before you do this, you want to focus on building wealth in one area first. Once you've done that, then it's time to start diversifying. Otherwise, you'll spread yourself too thin and end up with nothing. Rule number 6, buy time, not stuff. The biggest mistake most people make when it comes to money is buying stuff they don't need instead of investing it. Sure, you might get some short-term enjoyment out of your new purchase, but in the long run, it's not worth the opportunity cost. That's why the 6th rule of money is to buy time, not stuff. Use the money you earn to free up your time by outsourcing tasks or automating them. For example, hire a cleaner or pay for grocery delivery so you can spend more time working on your business or developing skills that will help you make more money. Remember, time is the one non-renewable resource we all have in common. So use your money to buy back your time and then use that time to make more money. Before we wrap up, it's important to note that these rules are just habits. They're not some magical secrets that will instantly make you rich. It's only when you consistently follow these rules over long periods of time that they become powerful. And even then, there's no guarantee that you'll become rich. But what these rules will do is put you in a great position to succeed financially. So if you're serious about building wealth, then you need to start following these rules today. If you enjoyed this video, check out our previous video on how to think rich. We discussed the mindset you need to adopt if you want to become wealthy. Thanks for watching, and until next time.